I just want to give people a little tour of my reef. People have asked me a lot of questions about my build, so I'm going to go over just a few points here. We'll start with the basics. The tank is a 29 Aquian from PetSmart at their $1 per gallon sale. The stand is their matching Brooklyn Imagitarium 29 gallon stand, or 20 gallon stand, same dimensions. And then it started out with a hang-on back filter, which was a good start, but not what I wanted to do. I wanted that sump ability. I definitely wanted to have that ease of hiding equipment. I wanted to get the heater for number one out of there. Number two, the intake pipe, which was dangerous to a lot of my invertebrates. And I just wanted to have more space in the display for, of course, corals, fish, and other creatures. Started out simple. I bought a branching frog spawn and a plate and a couple favias. Then I went over to my hammer and got one of those and started out as like a Euphelia garden. These guys, when I got them, were on basically 1-inch frags, except the frog spawn. That was an 8-head colony that I bought from a aquarium store that was getting rid of all the coral. They were just going freshwater. So I was like, I'll take it. Then I bought the toadstool, which is for sale. The Euphelia is also for sale because this tank is getting switched over to SPS dominant. I was going to go the whole route with Euphelia Garden and Zoa Gardens, but I'm liking the look of the SPS. I'm getting more comfortable with SPS, and with that, we'll move on to what I've done here. Just a piece of smoked acrylic that I've cut, put decals on to cover up the sump area. In the sump area, I am running a SCA 301 skimmer. It was a Toonsy 9001, but the Toonsy 9001 wasn't keeping up with my skimming ability. The skimmer now, the level it's at, that's 2 days of skim mate. I have it adjusted to where it's, pretty well dialed in. So this is actually an SCA sump also that I got off Craigslist. I got this off Craigslist for like $30 from a guy who was tearing down his tank. It was never meant to have a refugium. This is meant to be a bubble trap, but I put 2-inch sand, deep sand bed that never gets disturbed. And then I put a baseball-sized piece of Kato in there, but now it's the whole sump. I gotta trim it back. Running a Aquatop titanium heater on a controller, of course. There's also a backup heater in there that will click on with an Inkbird control that's down in the back. It's hidden. If it dips below 74. So I have 2 heaters, 200-watt heaters, for a 50-gallon system, just, backup for my backup. And then a Waveline 6000 DC controllable pump that's on setting number 2. Such a small system, but I have room to grow. And running a 4-inch filter sock that gets changed out every 3 to 4 days. That's my sump cabinet. It's clean, it's easy. I have a 3-pipe manifold off the back. I'm using one of those right now for my BRS dual reactor, running the half recommended dosage of GFO and full carbon. Carbon's changed every 2 weeks, GFO's changed every month, or as I see the phosphates start to rise. I switched back to GFO from NOPOX for now. I'm just kind of experimenting, but I am dosing. I'm dosing Reef Foundation's elements, everything except NOPOX right now. So I'm dosing ALK, calcium, magnesium. Not much, as I don't have much SPS in here, but I am dosing about 1 milliliter a day for my SPS. My SPS just started taking off. They've been in the tank for about a month and a half, and they weren't growing. They were looking pretty sickly. I even acclimated and bring them on the frag rack from the bottom all the way to the top over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, and nothing. The light is an EcoRay 72DX, so 72 LEDs. I believe it's half royal blue, half white. So far I'm getting really good response out of my Euphelia and my Favias and my mushrooms and my micromussa in the frag rack there, my Munzoa colony, and the anemone's happy. The SPS took a little bit to adjust, but where my SPS came from was Unique Corals and Van Nuys, and they are using radians. Some of their tanks are radians, some of their tanks are T5 LED hybrids, and so what they do is how they color up their SPS over there is some of them are cooked underneath those T5 fixtures. My SPS lost a little color because of the shock from the LEDs, but now it's just starting to come back, like my staghorn. My staghorn was brown, like the color of this rock. And now it's starting to get its blue hint back. My elkhorn's starting to get its greens back. My bird's nest was looking like it was white, but I mean, even the polyps were extending, but it looked like it was all white, whitish gray, which I thought was going to be deadly. I thought I was getting, necrosis, and then it bounced back. It was just in shock from the LED. I had to move my hammer over here in the corner. It was in between these two, but since my torch outgrew this area, it's been moved. They weren't playing nice, and he got stung by my torch. You live and you learn. Back here, have some leathers that fell down a long time ago, and I just been too lazy to pick them up, but they've been growing there. They're happy. Monty plate. Plating out. Nice. There's Charles. He's happy. He's a little camera shy. He was camera shy when I first got him, when I first set up this tank. Tank's going on 9 months old. And for propulsion and flow, I'm using one MP10 and 2 Corellia 425s. Both on controllers. That's pretty much it. Custom hard plumbing. I did a lot of plumbing myself. It wasn't that hard. Just a lot of YouTube videos. I'm using Marine Depot's OF300 Overflow. A lot of people hate these. These get a bad rap because people say, "Oh, if you lose siphon, your tank's gonna overflow." And you can see my level of my tank is right up to the rim. I keep my tank full. If that thing were to fail, yeah, I'd have a wet carpet and some dead coral. But for the most part, I'm home majority of the time, unless I'm at work. But someone's here, and I keep that YouTube right now. It's full of some algae, but every month that YouTube gets pulled, cleaned, rinsed in some RO, and then rinsed in some fresh salt mix and put back. And that box gets torn out every 3 months to clean that box out of all the algae. My return plumbing gets torn out as well every 3 months. I have unions right in the back there, so I can take those out, hit them with a bottle brush. Easy. Keeps everything flowing. And I know the sound of my pump, so if I hear that pump's kind of overclocking itself, it will. I'll pull it. But yeah, I did make the mistake of over-filtrating my water. I was using a algae reactor in conjunction with the Kato I had in there, just as an experiment, and I was taking too much of the nitrates out. I keep my nitrates around 2 right now. My phosphates at 0.02, calcium at 440, 450, alkalinity at 8, magnesium about 1400, and everything seems happy. I keep that as my base, as my stability. That's my marker. So yeah, I mounted this light on a shelf. I didn't want to go into the ceiling. I didn't want to mess with that popcorn, so I just screwed into my into that. Easy. Right now I'm running my lights at 75% blue, 10% whites. I was using 100% blue, but since this light fixture is only 8 inches off the surface of the water, my Euphelia was not liking it. It was closed up. It was too much light. I have borrowed a buddy's par sensor. An inch below the surface, I'm getting over 400 par. So that's why the bird's nest up there is just getting cooked. He's happy, getting a sun bath. Down at the bottom, center, from 12 inches of center, I'm still getting 350 par. Close to. And then the outer edges, it starts to taper off, of course. Sanjay Joshi did a really good write-up on these lights, and he compared them to Orphic and Radian and all these other lights in their infancy, of course. Radian's definitely increased their ability. They've definitely increased their product. I'm not bagging on Radian or Kessel. They have a great product. Or Halo. I just happened to get this light on a really good deal, and so far so good. So that is the Darkhorse Reef. It's on the front. Darkhorse Reef. Yeah, people ask me, why do you... I always see people name their reefs. Ryan Nash, Farm Boy, had the Phoenix. And now he's building his new Superman Reef. The reason being is because this is a living organism. Yeah, people say, oh no, well, there's living organisms in it. No, this is a living, breathing ecosystem within a glass cage. And there's also, when people say, oh, I'm trying to keep my reef as natural as possible, there is nothing natural about keeping fish and corals inside your house, inside of a glass box. So you need to adjust your parameters according to what your reef likes. My reef likes this. So that is the Darkhorse Reef. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to DM me, message me, write up a comment. No negativity. We're all here to do the same thing.